So we've got 3 weeks left to go until the under 1950 over the board tournament begins. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at the recent games that I've played within the 4-game challenges, and looking at the target that we're looking to aim for. Basically either 2 draws, which would mean 2 losses, or 1 win, which would mean 3 losses. So that's the basic type of prediction that we're going with, and based on the games that we've recently played, it's falling there or thereabouts, so it's quite precise is that prediction. We are looking to try and beat the prediction in the real over the board game. This is why we're doing all this training, but we're being realistic because we're going to be playing some very strong players over the board. Over the board is a different beast entirely to playing online, and those that say it's not, well, you must be like a special prodigy, genius, some type of thing. To me, it's totally different. One of the key differences, as I've mentioned before, is the fact that the computer is not there to help you. So you can't make erroneous moves on the computer because it won't allow you to move the knight to a place it's not supposed to go to. You're not allowed to move the pawn, free spaces down the board, or move it diagonally across the board without it capturing a piece. Little things like that. You have to manually, over the board, watch for every move that you're making sure that it's correct, and also what the opponent's moves they're making, if they're correct. If the opponent touches the piece because it's touch move, then they have to move that piece to wherever appropriate. It's putting your best foot forward. That's basically what I would say with this game here. Always just think about putting your best foot forward. I put my foot forward and I put it into a puddle when I could have just gone for basic chess. So it's all okay here. Queen comes down, knight comes up, queen takes the pawn. Now let's see, what does the computer say? Because we've said, yes, bringing the rook across here. Bringing the rook across, I mean, where did they go after that? The queen can come here, it can go here, and it can go here. There's lots of cans for it. But I'm not that player, so yeah, probably bring it back. Maybe they're bringing it back to stay. You don't want to get trapped. Yeah, because if it goes there, the rook's going to attack it. If it goes here, the bishop takes it off the board. It can go here, but what can attack it? The knight can attack it, but the bishop's there. No, the bishop can come back and attack it. So come here, and then it's obviously thinking maybe the bishop's going to attack and it's going to be safe. So I think all in all, the rook move was the better move. I'm not using any computer analysis type thing. I've just got the gauge bar on. We might jump in and see what they suggest in a few seconds. And let's see what else. So they've gone back here. I'm still plumping for this here, even though that got a bad mark. It's just that it does have a fork here. But we do have support from the rook. But he does have support from his knight. But his knight can't move because we've got an X-ray through. So what would I do from this position? I am liking this pawn. It's just I don't have any support. And bringing the rook out, but it's not doing anything. Could take the knight off the board. They are +1. Is there some stealthy way of... Ooh, interesting. Interesting. If we took, you'd expect the knight to take, but it maybe doesn't, and it just goes here. Because what I was thinking was if the knight came here and the knight was over here, this pawn couldn't take, so we'd get the pawn back. But that's if, buts and maybes, because really, if we take, maybe they see it. Ooh, it's not giving us a good mark, because I think they're just saying to take with the pawn. And obviously he's on this pawn here. Yeah, okay, so that's not working for us. The idea is nice, but they don't have to. They're not forced to actually take with the knight. That's interesting. Can't just be a simple rook move like this. There's no dynamicness I can't see. Right, let's jump into the computer and see what it's saying. My God, it is going from mamby-pamby rook across here. Let's have a look at the starter of this position so that we kind of avoid it. Even though we're advantageous, you know, with the queen taking the pawn, let's look and see if we can avoid it altogether. So the fact is, we brought the bishop out, and we should have just taken the knight off the board. Keeping it real simple, just take the knight off the board, then we're not having to contend with any of this situation. That's as simple as I can put that. Yep. So keeping the tension, bringing the pawn here, left us a weakness. Simple little things. And then taking time attacking the bishop and stuff. Again, didn't really need to do that. Could have brought the knight out, so it would have been already in position, just supporting the bishop. So if they came there, and then we have time to bring the bishop here, supporting. It's a bit of a supporting game, isn't it? Really, it's not really attacking, but we're blocking off things. We're trying to stop them, although they've got a slight advantage. So us giving the pawn up in the normal game that we played gave us a bit of an advantage, and I didn't really see it that way. I saw it we were going to lose the pawn somehow. And yeah, I couldn't find any targeting anywhere. That was a simple thing of putting the rook onto the queen though. And again, a little mamby-pamby rook move here. Just taking a little bit of a seat back, I think, in terms of what I was seeing in the game right from the start. So that's the first game. And that was a very lengthy evaluation type analysis thing. But these things help me in my games, especially for playing over the board. You got to take my time and focus and get rid of all this these situations that develop, which I've created myself. So yeah, that's very interesting. That's a good lesson learned there. Let's go on to the next game. Okay, this is the next game in the 4-game challenge. This was the first set of the 4-game challenge that we conducted recently. And as mentioned, we're just looking at these games just to see what little errors, mistakes, inaccuracies, whatever, you know, blunders, what was the thought process that I was going through at the time, how did I feel? And really, at the end of the day, if I knew then what I know now, would I have done anything differently? Can I see a glaring hole in what I actually did during the game? So we played as white, and let's just get the screen up properly in there. And trusted e4 again, and the person blasted through. Let's just see, everything looks fairly normal. Capture, 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 and leaning onto the queen. Yep. I mean, this is like my old school method of attacking the queen here. I only use it because the computer kind of frowns on it, you know, when it's done. But I've not seen many takers utilizing any kind of advantage that it creates. So just keep on using it. So they put a check on the king, we put a check on their queen and take off. So that's all pretty straightforward. Nothing miraculous as far as I'm concerned. Slight advantage to black. So they come and attack. What did I do wrong at this moment? Just castle, plain and simple. I am a little bit worried about the pawn now. I'm thinking, okay, they might start, you know, pressing and maybe working around the edges with the knight and stuff, trying to get into here. Oops, excuse me. So we castled, they castled, queenside. Now it's leaning on this pawn a little bit. Almost feel like my bishop's getting jammed in. So again, hitting the bishop with this small pawn. and was tempted to push onto the bishop. I thought, well, no, let's get readjusted first with the rooks, see if we can get them open. But this bishop here ordinarily wouldn't be stuck in this position, jammed in like this. So I've already done something wrong in terms of my own normal gameplay. So right from the start, again, it is about putting the right foot forward. You know, in anything that you do, it's about putting the right foot forward. If you're playing tennis, it's about putting the right foot forward before you take your swing, because your feet are supporting you. So you've got to have a good position first before you can then go and take action. So the knight's coming in, and the dreaded position that I thought, you know, with them coming here is actually starting to come true. So now I'm going backwards. So I am not playing the game that I would normally play. And for some strange reason, I am now in backward mode. I'm playing defense nanny here. So right from the start, this game has not gone the way that I normally would manage my game. So I really don't need to do any more evaluation on this. This is the catalyst. This is the starting point for the game not going in the way that we would expect it to go. So that's two games where opening wise, I've not put the best foot forward. Yep. So we'll take that on the chin. Like I say, I don't really need to do any more on this one because this is very glaringly obvious that my right foot was not put forward. So I'm going to go on to the next game. Take this game, playing as black. So just blocking the pieces and just developing. That's all pretty straightforward, getting the queen out. And this is that type of position that really, I'm not really, what's the word? I'm not comfortable with the position, but I understand what the computer suggests that I can do as better moves. So I just follow that track for now. And surprisingly, the opponent did actually capture the pawn. Usually they don't. They push past, and we push this pawn here, and we do a bit of a dance in the center. So we take the queen off the board. So this was all news to me now, in a sense, because I've not seen this position for ages. Because like I said, they don't usually take the pawn here. So how to play? I'm just now thinking, okay, well, we can attack this pawn, attack this pawn. This pawn gets a fork on the rook and the king. But in my heart of hearts, I'm saying to myself, this looks like a little single knight going out there with no support. I know their king is airy, you know, and they can't castle anymore, but a single knight, I need to be developing my pieces, really. So they bring their knight across, looking to do the same thing that we're looking to do. So options and choices. So we went and grabbed, just thinking, well, we must be a tempo ahead in terms of grabbing the piece and grabbing. But then they grab, and then we have to move the king. So our king can no longer castle. So I'm mentally now thinking, oh, I could actually just go over and get that knight. But my knight's trapped as well. But can I make sure I get his knight for some sort of even exchange? Anyway, we start moving across. I start moving the knight. So I'm trying to think, well, okay, if I get the bishop out or something and start moving the king across. But if he pushes this pawn, the bishop is just going to block the king from getting in there. So that would be a bit of a headache. And plus, he's got this rook ready to put checks on the king. So again, putting the best foot forward, probably not. I'm going to re-look at how to work this opening, because this position really is not favourable. So we put a check on to try and win a bit of tempo, but we already know he's got the potential to be disturbing us. So they bring the knight out, obviously looking to try and get our knight with their rook, but currently their bishop is a little bit jammed in, so the king's going to have to do a bit of movements in order to get our knight. So we move the king across, and as soon as we do that, the pawn drops down because the bishop wants to stop the king from coming here. So obviously the idea is maybe to get this up and maybe come here. So we captured the pawn, and then the rook's facing off our king, our knight. So probably with the potential of attacking here or even getting the bishop out. So we move the king off of the line, whether that we needed to do that or not, but the fear of having an X-ray on is going to cause me problems. So they moved their king, getting ready to move the bishop. So at this point I'm thinking, oh, can we save the knight? I'm not sure. And they captured and go for an exchange of the bishops. As you can see, the gauge bar showing we're getting our butt kicked here, because they can just simply just drop here. But they moved the knight, so we captured the knight, attacked, and we grabbed. So that was their mistakes. They didn't take advantage of the power of the rooks and the bishops attacking our king, winning loads of tempo. So we look to just bring the rook and develop and just start jostling around. At this point I'm thinking, well, you know, this could be a draw quite easily, but just keep on playing. I had the long play mindset in my head. I'm thinking, this is what it's going to be like playing over the board. Painful, painful, painful. And I resisted the urge to offer a draw or anything. I thought, no, I've got to play through, because I'm sure these over the board players, these higher rated players, are not going to be accepting draws from me being the lower rated player, second lowest rated player in the tournament. So we grabbed, and then the opponent ran out of time. So at least we were slowly improving position. So at least the gauge bars on our side here. Not that I'm too fussed either way. If you lose on time, you lose on time. But we were doing something half decently right. But I just want to go back to the opening and just have a look to see if there's anything different now that I can start doing. So when they're coming with the queen pawn thing, then they're coming with this aggressive pawn here and bringing the knight up. I don't have to bring the knight up, but I really don't like doing this kind of stuff. It looks a little bit too lame for me. So happy with that. When they go for the capture, then it's like, this is why I used to do the knight thing, but then the pawns were just chasing it all over the place, you know? So you're losing important tempo while they're developing their pieces. Let's have a look and see what the computer says. Ah, so now it's saying this. Why does it don't look scary? Because there's nothing coming here. There's nothing coming there. It just is a bit pawnish, isn't it? So if it takes. Takes, and the whole wide world is open. I suppose we've got all of this and this. I need to put that in the Rolodex. My head's still struggling with that. Comes down. Go there. When the night comes out. The night. I feel like that is better. I'd have to readjust, you know, it's not putting any pressure on any high level pieces, you know, like the queen or the knight. Because bringing the queen up here, I'm losing tempo, having to bring the knight back. But when they do that, they want to win tempo, don't they? So what if he does that? Oh, we're happy. We're happy. Right, okay. Let's go back 1 or 2. Up. Am I going to remember? Because at the other side of the coin is I'm always thinking I want to get castled. You know, especially playing a higher rated player, I want to get castled. Just throwing this in here, then they're going to want to develop. Say they want to get castled as well. I want to be shooting this up. It's probably thinking of protecting the pawn. But he's not going to lose any sleep because he's gambited it. So maybe they attack. Oh. Nice and steady away. Just a normal opening. And then obviously X-ray through to the queen. And then they say no, but they're not interested. Let's say they just want to do normal stuff. And let's push. Let's say they just do normal castling. And can we bait the pawn down? Just do normal. Then get the knight out in castle. That seems a lot safer, but it's going to want this. If I remember, I'll try and give it a shot. It's just that it feels really weird, you know, just pushing that there rather than developing the knight out. And I think if I'm playing it online, I bet you any money they just take. So boom, so they'll just take. So I'll probably get into the practice because I'll be going queen here, but that's the thing where I'm losing the tempo. What does the computer say? So that I can put it in my... Yeah, it's saying the pawn taking because it knows we're going to lose the tempo with the queen getting attacked. Right, so that's what the whole idea behind all of this exercise is. It's really just to see if there's fresh thinking. So I know that that opening is just... It's there and they take and there. I've done that for years, and then it suggested this. Normally they push down, and then we're pushing here, and it's not showing a major bad thing actually on on the actual gauge bar, because that's what it showed me many moons ago. But it just doesn't feel nice, Then the bishop comes here defending, and I must be doing the move order wrong somewhere because I just kind of mess it up a bit. So the bishop comes down. I think what I tend to do is I tend to get this bishop out. Yeah. X-raying through. Then they're doing this, and then I mess about just taking the pawn off the board. Then they take. And it just feels ugly. But look at that. It's like a drawn position. Ugh. Ugh. Right. Let's just go back just to see if there's anything. Because I know for a fact I'll probably, without even thinking, I'll just revert back to putting the knight there and forget that I've got this here. But if I take my time, maybe I might just bring the pawn here. But if I don't... Captures... Oh my god, look at this. What is this? It's pushing the pawn. It's ignoring this pawn altogether. It's leaving it with a plus. Oh, crikey. Oh my word, crikey. It's ignoring it altogether. So push. I don't know if I'm brave enough to do all this. No. No, I'm sorry. I'm not brave enough to just leave the pawn, extra pawn there. Because I'm not a fianchetto man as it is. I don't think that's coming out. Naturally come out here. Oh, we've got 2-on-1. Okay, 2-on-1. So that comes up. Say they do the magic thing of doing this. I'd be shocked if I ever saw that in a real game. Because nothing's on the threat there. Fianchetto the bishop. Ugh. Queen comes out, starts hitting. Oh my god, hitting with the pawn, not even hitting with the bishop. No, that's too much. I'm sorry. That's too much. We'll stick with trying to go with this pawn push here. Let's take that off. Trying to go with this pawn push here because it feels a little bit sturdier than the knight coming out. But if we are bringing the knight out, I am not doing this. Okay, so we capture, knight comes down. Yeah, so it gives them that bit of advantage. Let's see what move it says to do. Yeah, it is that move. Yeah. But they don't normally take. So when they go like this, then you hit it there. So I got it from the computer. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I don't feel comfortable with it. Ah, that's the move order bit that I might have been doing wrong then. Yeah, because I did say, didn't I? Well, you know, I feel like I'm doing everything okay, but then there's a point where I'm thinking, what does this get hit? Does which gets hit? So that's actually saying take the knight. Take the knight. Bishop takes. Still not taking this pawn, but this pawn's got no protection on the bishop as well. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, it's the move order thing. That's all it is. I can try and make myself more comfortable with that now. Drops down. I'm naturally doing this now anyway. I've been drilling it and drilling it. This naturally comes out. We go here. Right, it's saying the knight, but what I've seen is bishops coming here. But okay, say they're going for the castling. They'll bring the knight. That's when you take the pawn with the pawn. Interesting. I need to get into the feel of why this is happening. So we're into that. And if the bishop does that, then the bishop takes the knight because it's supporting the pawn. And then this pawn is going to be available to be taken because the knight is no longer there to defend it. So that's the rationale behind why the moves are made. I think when I'm playing it, I'm just tunnel visioned on this little area here with the bishop. Yeah, I'm focused on this and, you know, thinking, oh, do I take? But I'm not actually looking at the impact of what is being supported. Okay, so when the knight comes out, the pawn can take because the knight can't come back and defend. So the knight would still be able to take this pawn if it went that way. Takes, but the pawn is going, no way, you're not getting me for free. So that's when they go like that. It's even Stevens, and we can go and, oh, what is this though? What is this? We're letting a pawn go. It's saying castle. Knight takes the pawn, obviously. We put the x-ray through. Look at the gauge bar. Wow. No, human's going to defend. So it's not like a take thing. It's a little bit of style here. Stopping the king from castling. Oh, it's getting into mamby-pamby mode now. Not sure about all this stuff. Ooh. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3. Bam, bam. Let's do that differently then, okay? So it's saying take the pawn, but really we don't want our pawn being taken. See, the computers think totally differently, and I'm just like, no, I'm not. I don't want to be giving up pieces. You want to be making sure that your pieces are safe. Do we not just bring this here, bishop? X-raying through to the queen. Stopping the knight from moving. And if they're having a heart attack, then we just take. Queen takes. Now we can take the pawn, surely. and then they take. Well, that feels a bit more secure. I'm not giving up a piece. I'm not giving up a pawn for free. So that feels more natural. Okay, nice one. We'll go on to the next one. Okay, playing as black in this game. And let's see if we knew then what we know now, if anything could be improved. So they push through the center. This feels fairly natural. And there's options and choices. Decided to take this time. And what I have been practicing is just leaving the knight there and just pushing the pawn. On this occasion, thought, well, let's just try that because I've been bringing back the pawn, attacking the queen situation. Although that might not be the best now that we're looking at the performance. And am I going to take that into the tournament? I'm not too sure. I'm on the fence with it at the moment. But I think from the previous lives of playing chess, doing that type of maneuver, I tried to kind of wean myself off it. But nobody did anything against it. It's just I want to really get a more improved position on the board. So this is me just bringing out the kind of old school play. And in this game, I've resisted actually attacking the queen. So trying something a little bit different, obviously looking to stop the pawn from coming here. So I'm trying to mix up the new process with the old process in a sense. So obviously the knight potentially can come out and attack the pawn and basically try and get castled. So they attack and we bring the bishop through. And they castle queenside and then we castle kingside. So at this point, thinking even exchange if they're going to take, but the queen's probably going to go, no, I'm going to take the pawn. So take. So we move the queen. This point, I'm thinking we are jammed in here. And that's all from the opening. As we said, you've got to put your best foot forward. So I think from the first game to the last game in this first series, really, it's just highlighting about putting your best foot forward. Yes, I'm trying out new things. I'm trying out old things. I'm trying to blend them all together. But I'm really wanting to find the pieces that I'm really comfortable with. And I've been playing for years, but you know, you're always trying out different, trying out different clothes, different shoes, different socks, see what fits, see what doesn't fit, You even try out different sizes sometimes to see if, well, does that really fit? I mean, I've never had that size before. Maybe it's a comfortable fit. Don't know. And that's what I'm doing with my chess at this moment. So this particular opening here, I don't think I'll do again because it just leaves me on the back. I'm squished in already. So very bad foot. Should have just attacked the queen. Yeah, so mixing up the new with the old. Yeah, yes, it can be a bit arty, but I feel like I lost a bit of tempo and I gave them strength with this pawn rather than attacking the queen and letting them think about something. Giving them something to think about is key, especially in the opening stages, whether that's the fact of, well, give them something to think about in terms of, I'm blocking off your pawn, so what are you going to do? Are you going to break, or are you going to just keep blocked yourself, or are you going to overextend your pieces and then I'm going to snap you up like a Venus flytrap? So it's giving choices, options and choices. I didn't really give options and choices here. I went, oh, well, just come in and attack me. Yeah, so that's the basics of this particular game here. It looks like I'm positioning, but it's not. It's giving them strength. So I should have, again, been attacking the queen. If I was going to do this type of opening, I should have been attacking the queen, the higher piece, to say, well, what are you actually doing? But the more I leave it there, the stronger it gets. So we captured. And let's have a look. Did we have to capture? Or could we just have moved a piece? We could have maybe moved a piece. Not really there because the queen will take. Maybe here, just moving back and it's attack, defending the pawn. But that's going backwards and it looks ugly. So yeah, just from that moment of not taking advantage of attacking the queen, look at it, just sat there happy as Larry. But what we needed to do was just give it a little touch to say, well, what do you want to do about this small pawn attacking you? Best foot forward. Again, don't really need to go through this game. This was the start and the catalyst for the problem and of being backwards. Yeah. So in any event, from this point on, obviously we lost a pawn there. Positionally, it's just about being strangulated. Now we're trying to fight and win tempo, but we're getting hit all over the place and our position is not good. So bring the bishop back, it's defending, trying to defend the pawn. The rooks haven't linked up in any way, shape or form. Really a bad position. And now the queen is going to be taken off the board and the rook comes down. It's all in the space of a few moves as well. Queen gets to escape and the king moves off of the line because they're looking for the cheapie here. So yeah, putting your best foot forward is so crucial and key. In the practice games, you're allowed to do these sort of things, but in practice games, you're also supposed to, when I say you, I mean I'm supposed to learn from the practice games. This is what I'm doing now. There's only 3 weeks left until the tournament, so I'm not looking at any major changes to my gameplay. I'm just looking at my behaviors in the games, and that's a whole different kettle of fish. I can change the behaviors quite nicely, but trying to change my gameplay, you know, my understanding of chess and changing my mantra and changing the answer process, that's not going to take place anytime soon because we've drilled that to death. It's my use of the answer process, that's the behaviors side of things, where, you know, I am not utilizing the answer process to its best abilities. I'm trying to mix up stuff with old stuff. I'm trying to mix concepts in, and as you can see, it's not putting my best foot forward.